Hello everybody and welcome to the Starter Deck Finals. This is a finals video, and what I traditionally do is do the entire Final Four, meaning you're guaranteed to have two matches in this video. The first match will be my semifinal match, and the second match will either be the third place match or the championship match. The format for this tournament is the starter deck that was designed by community member JamesDub. It's a deception list. It's probably marginally better than the deception starter list, but there are a lot of similarities between the list. You have to play that specific deck, no editing whatsoever. Every match is best 2 out of 3. And yes, hopefully we can flip some coins good and go first lots. And let's go ahead and get started into the starter deck mania. Welcome to finale night. It is the semifinals. We've got a matchup here in the starter deck JamesDub edition. And this is our semifinal matchup. This is game number 1 of a best of 3 series. I will be taking on Femto, and we both have to play the same deck. We are going first, making the correct decision from that department. And let's see if we can go ahead and capitalize on that in game number 1. Terrible opening hand. Let's get rid of the Spiked T. Love seeing the Wild Hog. Get rid of the Secrets Broker. Stack the deck as the worst card in the deck, so definitely get rid of that. Don't love keeping the Barricade. It's just a bad card, but early it can serve a purpose, and I guess that is something. Don't like to see the Ransom, and don't like to see the Barb Portfolio, so this is a pretty bad opening hand. So despite getting the first turn advantage, if my opponent has a good draw, they can take advantage of this really bad draw from our end. They go ahead, get the Dockside Prowler in play. We've got no other option but to toss out a Barricade, but the Barricade might be awkward for them because they can't attack. They can't attack into this in GP if that's what they wanted to do. They can't attack into there, which does allow us to GP potentially here, but now they go ahead and play this. So we hope to attack here into here, and we do that successfully. This is a sitting duck, but it is what it is at the moment. They may just GP here. We have a very bad hand. We're not applying pressure. We're not doing anything, quite frankly, to secure the initiative. So they're doing that. All we can do is play another Barricade, which is embarrassingly bad. It's just horrendous play. We do draw a Dockside Prowler, which is something, I guess. So we'll go ahead and play it to try to get some pressure out there. An embarrassing amount of walls. We've got some low quality removal in hand and unable to take advantage of our going first advantage to establish the early Sanctum. That's what we would have preferred to do. They set themselves up very nicely here. Notice they've got 2 targets I would like to use my God Power on. And that is optimized play from their point of view. We'll go ahead, use our God Power to remove that one. And I'll play the Volatile Imp and just hope that it's not convenient for them to kill. Meanwhile, this thing doesn't do much. So this guy probably trades in somewhere here. They might get some RNG to hit one of these or something. They don't want to use this before attacking with this, so they're going to attack with this. 1 in 4 chance to hit the Imp. They go face. It's probably the worst place they could have gone. And they get the Hunt Warden in play, use this, no surprise there. Go ahead and get that kill, and ours goes face, again, the worst place it could have possibly gone. We don't have a good turn this turn, which is pretty consistent with how this game's been going. It's just wall after wall here, and we'll go ahead and go face just to collect 3 favor. Also chip away 1 damage at this. They're probably just going to diss this and just GP, which is, I guess, fine for them. We're really not making any progress, but we're doing okay, I guess. So they build another wall. We both have been just drawing insane amounts of walls, which is quite terrible for both of us. We draw Bedeviled Shadow. That is somewhat useful, at least curve-wise. We can go ahead and remove this minion. Unfortunately, we can't make a great Sanctum purchase this turn, and that's disappointing. So our opponent here, they're going to be able to get the first pick in the Sanctum. What they should do is they should use their GP, buy the Rune of Strength, play that here into here, here into here, just assuming they don't have anything useful in hand, which is an assumption. But they can get through this very easily. GP here, this into this, this into this, this, bam, bam, bam. And it works out very well for them. So yeah, they GP here. But yeah, playing this didn't really accomplish too much for them, which is good for us since our hand is just horrendous. Really just a bad draw this game. But we had the first turn advantage, which is keeping us alive and not completely eliminated. They attack there into there, which leaves this at 1, which we can go ahead and kind of take advantage of. They don't make a purchase in the Sanctum, which I feel is a major error on their end. So we can go ahead, remove that. We can buy the Ruin of Fire if we would like, or we can buy this Ruin of Strength, both of which are relatively solid lines. We buy the Ruin of Strength, we kill here, they GP, they Rune of Fire, kill here, these two live. If we buy the Rune of Fire, we can kill this, they just do this, this guy sits there. We might can bait them into buying this and then getting value out of Spike T. That is the dilemma that we're currently in. I'm going to buy the Rune of Fire. This line's cleaner. I hate floating mana, especially because at some point it's going to be particularly useful. But we're just not going to attack with this. This is perma hidden. There's no reason to attack into this and leave this to be a sitting duck for them mana curve-wise next turn. So they're going to use the GP. Clearly the best card in the Sanctum is the Rune of Strength. I think they probably purchased that very shortly here. I don't see why they would avoid it. They grab the Ambitious Adventurer. Again, catching me by surprise, I would have been slamming that Rune of Strength down if I was them. But they're going to go ahead and continue with their board presence here. We do not draw anything super useful. We draw the Poisoned Dagger, which isn't particularly amazing. We can go ahead and remove this and play the Secrets Broker. This is a sitting duck, so it just dies to the GP. But then this can take this out, which is reasonable. But they could easily have removal for this. Our hand is just horrendous. It's just low-quality removal spells. And this don't go well into anything they have on the board. And Poison Dagger into this kind of just feels bad. So they're going to continue to milk value here. Option to take the Ruin of Strength in the Sanctum. And they will take the option this time and go ahead and play that there. So we obviously have to Poison Dagger there. We're getting pretty low though, which is non-optimized. We draw a Volatile Imp, which is non-optimized. So this is not looking very good for game number 1. Just really bad draw from the beginning and just unable to recover from the bad draw, the bad start here. And we're going to take the loss in game number 1. There's really not much of a comeback mechanism from this point from our perspective. The Imp goes face. Just play that kind of to delay them, but they do indeed get this on board, which is something. But again, when you get the initiative, the Sanctum is a second hand. And I mean, now we're drawing all of our 1-drops. The beginning of the game, all we drew was just walls, and that's just not a formula for victory at the end of the day. So we're playing this out to the very end. It's going to end very poorly, though. Just, you look at our early game, the double barricade, the Barb Portculios. It was just absolutely horrendous. They get this on board. I mean, we can ransom it, but then they just replay it. So it is what it is. We'll just go ahead and just concede here. There is no way to prevent the lethal. Yeah, it's just pretty hopeless. We lost game number 1. Our backs are up against the wall. We need to win the next 2. We went first last game, but man, that draw was horrendous. We drew 2 barricades and 2 Barb Portculios right at the beginning of the game. We're going second this game. I do not like the Imp, So let's get rid of it. I love the hog. The messenger's pretty solid. The bedeviled shadow. The question is how greedy I want to get. Since I've got 3 more mulligans, I'm going to go for it here. And we end up succeeding. We get the wild hog. I like this on 2. I like this on 1. Let's go ahead and keep this and try to get off to a good start this game. So got the double wild hog opener, which is great for just coming out with speed. And we see them play a barricade. They use their only pip to play barricade on 1. But our open, the double wild hog, is absolute perfection into the barricade. So this is a much better start than we had last game. And since they use their pip on 1, they might not have a productive turn on 2. But they do have a wild hog. So they did probably top deck a wild hog. That was a productive turn. But we need to come out here and just establish the initiative. I'm going to conserve my pip, assuming I can get better value out of it later. The reason why is we know with this we're not going to have value. And the next turn we're probably playing this and GP on this. So with that in mind, we are going to conserve because we don't have anything else. And, well, we top deck something else, of course. That guy goes face. Where is this guy going to go? He goes to the wrong destination. We'll stick with our original plan here and get this out there. Pretty decent. This guy goes here, then we do this. We are going to be able to pick up the Rune of Strength in the Sanctum. That's going to be a key card. That is the key. So they hit here, we do this, and we pick up the Rune of Strength, which is critical. The Poisoned Dagger. So what I can do here is I can play the Poisoned Dagger to kill here, and I can pick the Archer up. So this line is actually better. So we get value out of the dagger. This goes face. We can pick up the archer. Now, it's somewhat risky because we might not win the race to the Rune of Strength, but we do go ahead and already have 8 favors saved up. So we have a decent chance of getting this anyways in the Sanctum. The Rune of Strength. Because they've got 9 favor, we've got 8, but we have more minions on board. So they go ahead and play this and this. So here, if I can go face with this, well, we can get to that this turn. Actually, it's probably best if I hit this in the here, and we do get that roll. So we're able to peel this minion and can go face, face. We can grab the Rune of Strength. We know that's the best card in the Sanctum, and go ahead and play the Underbridged Assailant. We want to be applying the pressure immediately right now. So we've used our mana pips pretty effectively. This guy is going to get some value. They can get value out of their GP. They're going to go ahead and ransom my minion here. And that means they attack here, but they don't get value out of their GP immediately. We can attack here into here and potentially get some value. 50-50, of course, with the Wild Hog. I don't want to play stack the deck. They've only got 2 cards in hand, so it's very awkward this turn if this attack doesn't go my way. We do draw the Hunt Warden, which helps a lot. So here, I've got options. I can actually play the Rune of Strength here into here because we've got this. I think this is the line. So we don't want to have our Wild Hog miss incorrectly. So missing incorrectly would have been hitting their hog, but if this hog... Okay, the second best scenario was going face. Now, they can only use their GP on 1 target here. They're going to hit here into here. These 2 end up trading. And we have kind of avoided disaster, because if the hog missed like it did, because we wanted to make trade here, but the hog traded, it would have been a lot better than the scenario that happened. So they're going to be able to get value by hitting here into here. Yeah, and obviously if we could have traded there, we'd probably just flat out win the game. But as it stands, we don't quite win the game. Okay, this is scary because we are winning this game, and okay, disconnect and back. Okay, that's good. We are back. That would be horrendous to lose that way. So here I can get value out of my God Power this turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack, and I'm going to go ahead and use my God Power here. We're going to play this Underbridged Assailant. You could have argued playing this one for the extra cost and keeping our GP option back next turn. These lines may end up transposing though, except we're denying them an attack, so denying them a little bit more favor, I guess. But they go ahead and play this. It does give us the option if we draw something useful this turn instead of just doing this. We could do this in GP, but they bought the form of power, so they fully plan to attack and use their form of power on this. To me, that is pretty clear. We've got options this turn. We can hit here, GP, play this, and but then they can, yeah, they can peel here. I'm just gonna do this line because it's simple, and I don't want to commit to the Sanctum yet. We may or may not be picking up the Card Shark. I haven't decided yet. Now, they could play a Juggernaut this turn, which would get a lot of value. Okay, that does get some value from their perspective. They can attack here. They can play the form of power that they had bought previously, and they certainly will. So here, I think we're just going to flood the board with really tiny minions. Very tiny minions, indeed. Or we can buy the Ambitious Adventurer. So that's the decision here. We're going to GP here. And how do we want to spend our mana? I'm going to go ahead with the Ambitious Adventurer because it's card draw and rather simple. See what we end up getting. We get the Hunt Warden. The Hunt Warden was a lot better than what we would have done this turn with like the Imp and the Barricade, stuff like that. One thing we have to be very wary of is they could have Reckless Flame Breather, but playing the Reckless Flame Breather second is an advantage because we get the second board wipe. They go ahead and play this, and we can really flood the board here. We can really flood the board indeed, and I think this is going to be optimal for us. So go ahead, get those into play here. We are going to be pressuring them a little bit. I don't really have to worry about them killing the Hunt Warden from hand with these two barricades, so I'm not going to keep this guy hidden. I mean, they can play Spike T and GP, but that's not the most fearsome thing. So we're just going to ping away at the Rotting Mount some and apply some pressure in that direction. So here we are threatening 6 points of damage, which is mildly annoying from their point of view, especially with the Volatile Imp on the board, because a board wipe has the Volatile Imp do damage. So they're going to use the Orpheus Distraction on the Imp. No surprise there. And it does go face. They go ahead and kill a Barricade and buy the Enraged Ally, and they're buying that for board presence, which does make some sense indeed. We get the Gel Beast. The Gel Beast is pretty useful because it has Afterlife and is incredibly, incredibly annoying. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go face. I think... So I think his best out here is actually Reckless Flame Breather, and the best way to force him into playing that is by playing Card Shark here. So the extra 1/1 token messes with him because he can only use the GP on one minion. So he can GP here, for instance, but that doesn't accomplish so much. They can, yeah, but then they have to attack into this minion. And then how do they deal with all of this? Okay, they can Poison Dagger to kill this, but we've got a lot of X1s on the board here. So they're able to remove that, and that gets bigger. And they're able to remove that. Do they have a Barricade? A Barricade does prevent lethal, which is rare to have a situation where that is indeed the nuts. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to take this game, and we're going to force a Game 3 situation for the opportunity to play in the starter deck championship finals. Can't attack dead targets. Nice bug error message right there. Here we are in game number 3. Game number 1, we got the first turn advantage. We got a horrendous draw and ended up losing. Game 2, our opponent got the first turn advantage, but we got an amazing draw while they fell behind early, and we got the win. So far, the player going second has won both games in this match, and we hope that does not continue as we get the first turn in this game number 3, the decider that determines who goes to the finals. We would love a good draw here, and we get not a great draw. Since we've got a 3-drop, I would prefer the Barricade over the Barb Portfolios, but I'd really like to get rid of both. So, okay, the double dock side it's awkward. It is awkward indeed. I feel like on average I do worse by mulliganing there. So I'm going to keep this. And yeah. Okay, imp. Let's go ahead. I'm going to open imp. I'm going to invite the GP on turn 1 here, which is somewhat controversial because we don't know what they're holding, but I just think Dockside on average is just bad there. So we can play double. I'm going to play double Dockside to keep the pip and gives us more minions here. We're hoping that this guy gets some value. They could GP and then we have to attack there. But we're hoping that it's just too slow for them to play this type of style. They hide their own minion. Oh, that had to be a misclick. That is a potentially game-losing misclick, too. That was horrendous. And the thing is this is a pressure situation. You're talking about a, semifinals matchup here. And mistakes like that can indeed cost you a lot here. But we have stacked the deck in hand, which is really bad. The only thing we have going for us is we're milking favor. And that means that the Sanctum is going to be our second hand. And we're going to need that because our hand isn't great. And he just concedes out of frustration, I guess. It's just, yeah. Okay, I guess we're on to the finals. Wow. Welcome to the championship match. We've got myself going second in the championship, best of 3. It's not good to go second. Already coming off with a bad strategy when it counts the most, and not a good mulligan to go alongside it. Going second with a bad mulligan is the worst possible way to start off a championship match. Not much you can do about that, though. Nothing in our control. All we can do is pilot it the best we can and hope that they have a bad draw as well. And maybe we can outmaneuver them at some portion of this game. But if they've got a good draw and can establish the early board control, then they get the Sanctum as a second hand. And this game number 1 is already looking quite bleak. I mean, we can play Barricade on 1, Jail Beast on 2, Underbridge Assailant on 3. Man, that is so cringe. I think passing on 1 is just so bad. We can play Hunt Warden on 2, which is okay. This, if these end up trading, I think we're fine with it. So just slowing them down with a Barricade here. So we can get value out of the Hunt Warden. This peels and this peels here. Hunt Warden was a good top deck. Was eating a snack when this match started, so it is what it is. So they might do this into this, but then we can GP. They probably should do this into this, and then this into this, and then this into this. We played this or this. So it is what it is. They have the early board. And yeah, they're keeping the initiative. They have the favor. The Sanctum isn't good, which is quite frankly, the fact that the Sanctum is bad is good for us. So the question here is, do we play Barb Portculios or do we play Jail Beast? I think this provides more questions. That being said, it can just be met with GP. But for instance, if this ever attacks into here, we can GP into here. There's lines where we Panacea and Messenger here. They attack and GP here. That is definitely one line. Maybe we get Panacea and Messenger and Jail Beast or something. That's certainly a line. They can attack, GP, hit here into here. We play this. I mean, we're definitely on the back foot here. You could have argued playing Jail Beast last turn, but I mean, it wasn't very good either. So they've got 2 minions on the board. We'll go ahead with this. They will get the first pick from the Sanctum. I'm probably going to take the Shield Maiden. That is the best card. There's no reason to take the Bronze Servant in this matchup. And yeah, the Shield Maiden is just the best card. Unfortunately, they had removal for our creature, which is difficult, but This part of the issues when you fall behind in these starter deck tournaments. Bad draw and going second. There just really wasn't anything we could do in game number 1. We're gonna have to find some luck, hopefully better to our side for games number 2 and games number 3 here. Desperately just gonna play a Spiked T and play a Volatile Imp. They can GP this away, but they could get the splash damage here. We can GP here. Jail Beast next turn. They've got more cards in hand. They've got more favor. They've had life total. They've got the better board presence. All we have going for us is this is a best of 3, and that maybe games 2 and 3 can go a little bit better. Our opponent here just had everything. They win first. We had a terrible draw. And ultimately, that combination is just going to be too much to overcome for us here. And they go ahead, play this to provide an extra target for the Imp. The Imp goes face because it always goes face. And, yeah, I mean, we'll play the Rotting Mount, but this is just going to die to a Spiked T. It's just, this is just a rout. This is indeed a rout. It's a very boring finals match, very uninteresting. We just got a bad draw and going second. That combination is a formula for failure, and you're seeing that it in full effect in this game, just really never having a chance to compete. And it's frustrating in the finals to not have a chance to compete at all. It's very difficult, but we went down game number 1 in the semifinals, was able to come back and win that match, and we're going to be hoping to do the same here. And there's really not much we can do in this situation. Just everything that could go wrong has. Our opponent is roping for no reason. I do not know why they are roping here. It's very easy. Just attack here, play this, or, you know, GP if you've got nothing better to do. Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple turn. There's no reason to rope. There's nothing interesting in this game at all. They continue to have the favor because why not? We'll play literally every card in our hand. But yeah, this game has been over since basically our opening mulligan, which was horrendous, and they should easily be in control of this one. I mean, I don't see any way we get enough favor to ever do anything. I mean, maybe if they play, like, if they made the mistake here of playing Stack the Deck, which is the worst card, then gives us 3 cards, and then maybe we top deck into stuff doing. That's the only way they could possibly lose this game. But, like, legitimately just passing and not playing Stack the Deck would destroy us. Just playing the cards literally in the Sanctum would destroy us. And they're roping here for some unknown reason. I have no reason here. It's really just BM. Just play out your turn. There's literally no way to lose this game. This game isn't even close. Like, you shouldn't be burning brain cells here. This game is not remotely close or interesting at all. So Reckless Flame Breather, there's just no way we ever live to get to it, quite frankly. We can do absolutely nothing here. We can trade here. We can hide this and then try to trade these two. It's the best line. It's a bad line. And we can't even do anything with this. It's kind of pathetic. We're floating 6 here effectively. It's just so horrendous. It's just so horrendous. And this guy goes face. I don't know. I'll go face and maybe he screws up somehow. I don't see any path here. There is no path to victory. It's just a horrendous draw, horrendous luck here in game number 1, and they're just going to rope every single turn, which is very, very annoying. I hope that we can punish them in games 2 and 3 for this kind of BM, because it's just not really an interesting situation. Just play your turn. Just play your turn. There's nothing interesting in this game. It's just complete domination. Complete domination, and never had a chance at all in this game. Never had a chance to compete. And it's just because of our opening mulligan and the fact that we went second. It's that combination just never gave us any hope whatsoever. Spiked T is the only card that I can draw to mathematically prevent the lethal, and we don't get it. So we can technically top deck it with this, but then we don't have the mana to, yeah, so I messed up playing the God Power, but yeah, this is lethal unless there's nothing, yeah. So we're going to lose game number 1. Game number one, we got a bad draw. We went second. We did everything wrong that you could do. The game was very uninteresting because of that combination. And there's ultimately nothing we could have ever done there. So now we're entering game number two, hoping that things change here. And we're going second again, so we're starting off on the wrong foot here. And hopefully just get a playable draw this game. That draw last game, we never had a chance. And this looks like absolute trash as well. None of these are playable. This is another horrendous looking draw. Just a really bad mulligans in back-to-back games, and you hate to see that in the finals, really eliminating any chance we have here. Just a horrendous mulligan. We do improve it a lot with the wild hog there. So we did hard mulligan, get the hog, and maybe we can salvage this if they've got a bad open here. I said if they have a bad open, and they open perfect. They open double hog, and we draw the worst card in the deck, which is indeed stack the deck here. I have a feeling we're about to just get rolled. This is not a good situation. And they're going to use the Orpheus distraction. This is somewhat of a sitting duck here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to assume they've got nothing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to plan to attack here into here, use this and GP here. Now if they've got this and heal this up, then we look like kind of an idiot. But at the end of the day, we have to take risk because we are in a very difficult situation. They don't have it. They've got their own Bedeviled Shadow, so our plan is going to work here, and we're going to get some value. We will get value indeed on this line, but we are still in a very difficult spot. We're still chasing the game from behind. And we have Stack the Deck, which is the absolute worst card. Barricade's trash, Poison Peddler's trash. Our hand is horrendous. We've already played our best cards. We've got to hope that their hand is as bad as our hand. And maybe they'll make the mistake of actually playing Stack the Deck, which is indeed the worst card in the deck. Pretty good turn for them. We have nothing better to do than GP, play Barricade, but they hide this and then to get value out of their Volatile Imp. And the Imp is usually a card that's very difficult to get value out of. They can either attack, hide, chip there. They can do a lot of different things, but the moral of the story is we are getting destroyed. Unfortunate that this is happening in the championship round, but there's just nothing we can do. We never had a chance in this match. It's just going second, and I mean, they open double hog, and we have an awkward mulligan, Poison Peddler, stack the deck. Just really bad cards, and ultimately, there's just nothing we could have done. Just never had a chance in this game, in this match. And yeah, that's going to be the storyline here. There's no other storyline. Play this, but they can just chip it with this in the GP. They can play Spiked T. There's a lot of different ways to remove this. It's just the Poison Dagger removes it. And next turn we probably have to play the Mount, but then again it probably removes. The key here is they get first pick of the Sanctum, which will be Vow of Champions. They get the value in the Sanctum. They could even pick this and still be way ahead. So they're going to go with the Enraged Ally. Again, I disagree with that line, but it doesn't really matter. When you're so far ahead, they'll get just all the cards from the Sanctum. So nothing matters when you basically own the game. We do have this. Okay, the Poison Dagger gives us options. The reason why it gives us options is we can buy the Vow of Champions from the Sanctum, peel this. Next turn, maybe get out Rotting Mountain. If they don't have an answer, maybe we get somewhere. So we are behind in this game. I'm hoping that they make a huge play mistake and play Stack the Deck if they're holding it. Like, if they get tempted and play this card, then we have a chance. Like, we have nothing on board. They might think they have time to do that, but just giving us stuff to do will help us out and maybe give us a chance to outmaneuver our opponent. Instead, they've got a Poison Peddler and a Barricade. And, yeah, we'll just go ahead and play this and this. We don't want to play this and let them get value there. We hope that these two just kind of end up trading. But at the end of the day, it's super, super awkward. They could just go face and force us to do this into this into this into this and then Portculios. They've probably got better top-end cards in hand than we do. So that's also very awkward when you're looking at it from our perspective. They could GP here, but I mean, I assume they're going to play something and then maybe trade these. I figure the Poison Peddlers are probably trading. Yeah, makes sense. And then that's why we GP'd there, just to get the chip damage. And they've got the Imp on board. Let's see here. See, the thing with this Route and Mountain, I think, is just a sitting duck. I think it dies to whatever top end removal they're holding. They could have a Juggernaut here, which is very effective. That would be the first turn they're able to play that. One of in their deck. So there is a decent chance they're holding it. Of course, if they're holding it, they should have just slapped it down because there's literally nothing else to think about. So they play the Hunt Warden, which signals that they probably do not have Juggernaut. And we can play Rotting Mount. The interesting playing Ransom on this target seems like a bad use of a Ransom, in my opinion. But we'll go ahead and play the Rotting Mount and play this. So obviously, they would have much preferred using Ransom on this. We can replay the Hunt Warden if we want. But they're playing off the top of their deck, and the top card, and the card they top deck was Spike T. So not only are they going first, they're getting all the RNG breaking their way. They're top decking like a madman, and this is how you become a starter deck champion. So I'll be the first to congratulate Nightrun on winning this. It's just no hope. There's just absolutely no hope here for the good guys. It's just not going to work out our way this time. But we've done everything we could. We played this very well. But there's just literally nothing we can do. There's nothing you can do if your opponent is just going to get every little thing to break their way. And does the confused creature listen? Of course it does not. Of course it does not here. And we'll just go ahead like this. But yeah, this is they can buy the Rune of Strength from the Sanctum, which is of value for them. I mean, is there a situation where I play stack the deck hoping to hit Reckless Flame Breather just to try to weasel my way back into this game? I mean, I hope not, because that's just such a cringe line. But I guess we never should be eliminating cringe lines in cringe times. That Spiked T top deck last turn was crazy. I mean, if they're top decking Dockside Prowlers like I am, I have a chance to come back in this game. For some reason, they haven't Windmill Slammed the Rune of Strength. I don't know. I mean, you just buy this and then attack into there. But apparently they don't. They just go ahead and play the Rotting Mount here. And honestly, I think there's only one out in my deck, and it is the Reckless Flame Breather. The awkward thing is if I give them more cards, then I am kind of helping their situation. So it's kind of a catch-22. And the catch-22 is, I don't know. I really do not know. Like I think I have to go for the Reckless Flame Breather. If I hit the Reckless Flame Breather, do I have a chance in this game? The answer is probably no. If I play this in GP, do I have a chance in this game? The answer is probably no. So I'll do this. It's desperate. Reckless Flame Breather is in the deck, and we do get it. So maybe we can bait them into overextending this turn. And that is what we're going to go for here. We're just not going to attack with this. No reason to commit with it yet. So we do have the Reckless Flame Breather. It is kind of ideal if we can bait them into going even wider here. Now, they might be tempted to play the Rune of Strength onto here, but that's why not attacking with this is good, is because I can get this attack in, or at least force them to do something with this Dockside Prowler. So attacking into there doesn't accomplish anything. We are almost forced to play Reckless Flame Breather next turn. There's really not much else we can do. And we see them attack into here. Probably GP face. They probably know that we have Reckless Flame Breather or could have Reckless Flame Breather here. They're buying from the Sanctum, which is good for us because then we're going to be able to purchase from the Rune of Strength, which will be the best card available in the Sanctum. Or actually, we could hold back if we would like. Okay, they bought the Rune of Strength. That was smart. It would be smart for them not to play it, and they don't. We have no option here but to go ahead and just play the Reckless Flame Breather. It will be effectively a board wipe. I'll keep the Sanctum options open. There's a good chance we buy Volca's Discovery, though. But we do not have to commit. We do not have to commit yet. They probably have Juggernaut here because, I mean, I did let them draw a lot of cards. So the Juggernaut can kill this. Or they're going to kill this guy for sure. But it'd be interesting to see how. And then next turn, we just try to get some sort of a board going. So they do remove the minion and play the Hunt Warden. So we do know that they have Ruinous Strength, and they can attempt to get value out of that, and they will be successful at getting value out of that. I bet. I'm willing to bet there. So they're going to Ruinous Strength here and hit here into here. They can't buy Valka's Discovery very cleanly yet, so we're just going to leave it in the Sanctum for now. Could have argued buying it, but the Archer might be more friendly for us here. I do not know. I mean, if they just go, if for instance, if they play the Ruin, attack face and hide, then we have to buy this. But it's looking pretty bleak here. I've gotten to the point now, I don't know are really way back into this game, but we've done everything we can. We took the desperation shot, and this is just not going to work out here. So they're going to go face and hide, or yeah, they're going to force the Valka's Discovery, which is actually a little bit awkward. So we can unhide this, and this is like the only chance we have to potentially outmaneuver our opponent here. They're giving us a little bit of hope with their dicey gameplay. So we can buy this. We can kill. Yeah, we can get rid of the hidden. And now we can play Spiked T. Now we're going to push a lot of damage face here. Push a lot of damage face. Be asking the questions. Something else is going to pop up in the Sanctum as well. A Battle Oryx doesn't really help us, but if we get a second front line, it could matter. They got Reckless Flame Breather. I mean, we had to go for it, chat. We had to go for it. We had no other line. We did the best line. It's just not going to work out. Juggernaut is our only out to survive here, I believe. And that's not Juggernaut. Actually, it does technically let us survive, but it's not a very, like, cool survival story. It's a very desperate survival story. You have to play the two front lines. Go ahead and GP to hit 1 damage there. But this is looking relatively bleak. We are at 5. They're at 14. If this ever hits face, they win. Spike T plus GP. And that will be the championship for our opponent. Never had a chance. All the luck went their way. And that's how you become a starter deck champion, chat.